not to this extent. And I think the ceiling that Alex Eala has is obviously that much higher. And I'm going to bring in a little boxing here because my dad wanted me to be a boxer, but I chose tennis. But Manny Pacquiao.
Good call.
Manny Pacquiao, we saw him when he, was at the top of his game, and alongside Roger Federer, he actually had more prize money.
The conversation around Alex Eala has reached a level that even tennis analysts can no longer ignore. They are not simply calling her a rising star anymore. They are openly questioning whether Alex Eala has already become the biggest draw in women's tennis. The comparison to Manny Pacquiao makes the claim even more powerful, suggesting that Ayala is creating the same kind of excitement and national pride that Pacquiao once brought to boxing. What makes this different, though, is that the attention surrounding Alex Ayala is not based only on her results. It is also about her personality, humility, confidence, and the incredible reaction she creates everywhere she goes. Former champions and top players have noticed it too. Jessica Pegula described the atmosphere surrounding Ayala at the Miami Open as absolutely insane, explaining how fans consistently turn up in huge numbers just to watch her play. The Australian Open showed just how serious that support had become, with massive crowds gathering around her matches and fans staying even when they struggled to get inside the venue. That kind of connection between a player and her supporters is extremely rare, especially for someone still building her career. Then Novak Djokovic added even more weight to the conversation by recognizing Alex Ayala as the greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever produced and highlighting the enormous attention surrounding her. When analysts, former champions, active players, and one of tennis's biggest legends are all pointing toward the same player, the question becomes impossible to ignore. Is Alex Ayala already becoming the face of women's tennis? Her results will ultimately have to prove that she belongs at the very top. But one thing is already clear: when Alex Ayala steps onto the court, people are watching, and the entire tennis world is starting to take notice. But the biggest reason Alex Ayala's rise feels so different is that her popularity is growing at the same time as her tennis is improving. She is not simply attracting attention because of where she comes from or because fans want a new star to support. Every time she steps onto the court, she is giving people another reason to believe the hype. Her performances have shown that she can compete with established names, handle pressure, and stay composed when the spotlight becomes enormous. That combination is exactly what makes her so dangerous to overlook. A player can become popular for a moment, but maintaining that attention requires something much harder: consistency. Alex Ayala appears to be building that consistency while her fan base continues expanding around the world. What makes it even more impressive is the way she handles the attention. Instead of acting overwhelmed by the growing expectations, she continues to carry herself with humility and respect for the game. That has made her story even more appealing because fans are not only watching her compete, they are becoming emotionally invested in her journey. And when a player can create that kind of connection while still improving on court, the ceiling becomes incredibly high. The question is no longer whether Alex Ayala can attract a crowd. She already has. The bigger question is how far this momentum can take her once her results begin matching the enormous level of attention surrounding her. And this is where Alex Ayala's story becomes even more interesting, because the reaction from fans is not limited to one tournament or one country. Wherever she appears, the atmosphere seems to follow her. That is a powerful sign of a star who is beginning to transcend the sport itself. Fans are not simply checking the schedule to see who is playing. They are specifically looking for Alex Ayala. Her matches have started becoming events, with supporters creating an energy that can completely change the feeling inside a stadium. For the WTA, that kind of organic excitement is incredibly valuable because it cannot simply be manufactured through advertising or promotion. It has to come from the player herself, and Alex Ayala is generating it naturally. Even established players have noticed how different the atmosphere becomes when she is on court. The noise, the flags, the excitement, and the sheer number of people following her journey show that something much bigger is happening. And there is another important detail. Alex Ayala is still young. She is building this level of attention before reaching what could potentially be the prime years of her career. That means the current hype may only be the beginning. If her ranking continues climbing and she starts collecting bigger wins against the biggest names in the game, the attention surrounding her could become almost impossible to contain. That is why so many people are watching closely right now. They are not only watching Alex Eala as the player she is today, They are watching to see what she could become next. The most fascinating part of Alex Eala's rise is that even the biggest names in tennis are beginning to recognize something special about her. This is no longer just a story being pushed by fans or social media. Established players have experienced the atmosphere around Ayala firsthand, and their reactions reveal just how unusual her popularity has become. When Jessica Pegula faced her, she reportedly walked into an environment that felt completely different from a normal match, with the crowd creating an intensity that was impossible to ignore. Pegula has played on some of the biggest stages in tennis and knows exactly what a major tournament atmosphere feels like. Yet the support surrounding Alex Eala still stood out to her. Fans were not simply cheering when Ayala won a point. They were emotionally invested in every rally, every comeback, and every big moment. That kind of connection can create enormous pressure for a young player, but Ayala has continued to show a remarkable ability to stay composed while the spotlight gets brighter. Instead of allowing the noise to overwhelm her, she seems to turn that energy into motivation. And that may become one of the biggest advantages of her growing popularity. The more fans she attracts, the more important every match becomes. But the bigger the stage gets, the more comfortable Ayala appears to become with the attention. Then there is the international side of her popularity. The Philippines has an incredibly passionate sports culture, and Ayala has become a source of excitement for fans who want to see one of their own reach the highest level of global tennis. Her supporters are not only watching from home, they are showing up at tournaments, filling sections of stadiums, carrying flags, creating noise, and making her matches feel like major events. Every victory adds another layer to that connection, while every tournament gives Filipino supporters around the world another reason to rally behind her. This is why the Manny Pacquiao comparison continues to feel so powerful. Pacquiao did not simply win boxing matches. He created an emotional connection between his performances and an entire nation. Alex Eala is beginning to show signs of creating something similar within tennis. She is giving people a reason to watch, a reason to travel, and most importantly, a reason to believe that something historic could be happening in front of them. But the real test is still ahead. Popularity can make a player famous, but sustained results are what turn a famous player into a true superstar. If Ayala can continue improving, defeat more established opponents, and eventually challenge for the biggest titles in tennis, this current wave of attention could become something much bigger. The WTA may not simply be watching the rise of another talented player. They may be watching the early stages of a global tennis phenomenon. If Alex Eala can keep improving, continue defeating more established opponents, and eventually challenge for the biggest titles in tennis, this current wave of attention could become something far bigger than anyone expected. Every major victory would add more credibility to the hype, while every new tournament would give her growing global fan base another reason to rally behind her. The WTA may not simply be watching the rise of another talented young player. They could be witnessing the early stages of a global tennis phenomenon. And if Ayala manages to combine her growing popularity with consistent results at the highest level, the conversation could quickly shift from whether she is the next superstar to whether she has already become the face of a new generation in women's tennis. At that point, the attention would no longer feel like a temporary wave. It would become a lasting force that could reshape how the sport sees her and how millions of fans around the world follow women's tennis. Imagine what happens if those packed stadiums, international support, and growing media attention are eventually matched by deep runs at the biggest tournaments and victories over the very best players in the world. That is when Alex Ayala's story could move from exciting breakthrough to something truly historic, giving the Philippines a tennis superstar capable of capturing the attention of an entire generation.